Picture this. Tuesday evening. Nothing special. You're on the couch with your wife. Some show's playing, you're not even watching it. You reach over to put your arm around her. Not a grand gesture. Just something you've done 1,000 times. She pulls away without looking up from her phone. One word. Don't. Not angry. Not sad. Just. Done. Like you're a stranger on a bus who sat too close. You sit there with your arm in the air for half a second. Then you pull it back. Set it on your own knee. Stare at the TV. The news is running something about the Ohio State University president stepping down over some inappropriate relationship. You think about that word. Inappropriate. You think about how your wife just flinched when you touched her. That was my couch. My wife. My Tuesday evening. My name is Monty Wainwright. And that one word, don't, was the last thing Clarice ever said to me as my wife. She just didn't know it yet. I'm 46. 20 years in the Marines before I started my own security consulting firm. Ran it out of Virginia for 6 years, built a client list, built a name, built a life. Then 18 months ago, Clarice gets a corporate transfer to Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Logistics company. Mid-level position. And I did what I'd always done. I followed the mission. Packed up. Left my network, my crew, everything I'd built. Started over in a city where I didn't know a single person. Because that's what you do. You protect the unit. That night, around 10, my phone rings. My younger brother, Reed Kendrick. Different fathers, same mother, same loyalty. Reed followed us to Cedar Rapids 6 months after we moved. Said he wanted to be closer to family. I need to see you, he says. His voice is wrong. Tight. Like he's holding something in his chest that's about to crack a rib. Come over. Not at your place. Please. I look at Clarice. She's still on her phone. Hasn't moved. Hasn't asked who called. Name the place, I say. He picks a bar downtown. I grab my keys. Clarice doesn't look up when I leave. The bar is dim, half empty. A guy named Grady Whitfield is behind the counter. I've been here a few times. He remembers faces. He pours 2 whiskeys without being asked. Sets them down. Walks away. Good bartender. Knows when to disappear. Reed is sitting at the end of the bar. He looks like he hasn't slept in a week. His hands are wrapped around the glass like it's the only thing keeping him upright. Talk to me, I say. He can't look at me. Stares at the whiskey. His jaw works. Nothing comes out. Reed. Something happened with Clarice. He says it fast, like ripping off a bandage. Once. 3 months ago. I've been sick over it ever since. I don't flinch. Don't raise my voice. Don't move. I sit perfectly still, the way I learned to sit when everything inside is detonating. You learn that in the Marines. You learn to separate what you feel from what you do. The feeling can wait. The situation can't. Grady polishes a glass at the other end of the bar. The TV up in the corner is running some crawl about Fox News acknowledging certain claims about Dominion voting systems were false. She came over when you were in Des Moines, Reed says. His voice is barely there. Said she needed to talk about the marriage. She was upset. Crying. I thought I was helping. And then, stop. He stops. I don't need the details. I take a breath. Did she contact you after? Twice. I didn't respond. I moved my stuff out of the guest room the next week. I can't. Monty, I can't look at you without. Then don't look at me. Just answer. Has she mentioned this to anyone? I don't know. I finish the whiskey. Set the glass down. Grady catches my eye. I shake my head. One's enough. Here's what people don't understand about the military mind. We don't process betrayal the way most people do. We don't sit with it, turn it over, ask why. We assess. We secure what can be secured. We move. Reed is crying now. Quiet. Head down. I'm not going to hit you, I say, and I'm not going to forgive you. Those are 2 different things. He nods. You're going to write down exactly what happened. Date, time, everything. You're going to sign it. And you're going to keep your mouth shut until I tell you otherwise. Whatever you need. What I need is my brother back. But that's not on the menu tonight. I drive home. 20 minutes in the dark. Hands steady on the wheel. Inside, something has gone very quiet. Not calm, empty. The kind of empty that comes right before you dismantle something. Clarice is asleep when I get home. Or pretending to be. Curled on her side of the bed, phone face down on the nightstand. I stand in the doorway for exactly 3 seconds. Then I go to my office and close the door. I don't sleep that night. But I don't pace either. I sit at my desk, pull up bank statements, start making notes. By 5 a.m., I've mapped every dollar for the last 18 months. Her spending. My spending. The credit card she thinks I don't check. At 8 I call Nadine Dunlap, family attorney. She was recommended by a former client, former CIA, actually. Not someone who does things halfway. I need to retain you. I say. Today. Come in at 11, Nadine says. Bring everything you have. Over the next 2 weeks, I watch Clarice the way I used to watch a perimeter. Not with anger. With attention. And here's what I see. Thursday evening. Clarice is on the phone with Moselle Hartwell, her co-worker. Wealthy. Divorced. Designer bags and weekend trips to places Clarice can't afford on her own salary. The kind of woman who looks at someone else's marriage and sees a demolition project. I told you, Clarice says, laughing. He checks my phone. He won't let me go out. It's like living with a warden. I'm standing in the hallway. She doesn't know I'm there. None of it is true. I have never checked her phone. I have never told her she can't go out. She goes out with Moselle twice a week. I cook dinner and eat alone. Every time. She's been building a narrative. An abuse story. Insurance. And she's been laying it down for weeks, maybe months. Every person in her new social circle believes I'm controlling, paranoid, dangerous. And the real Monty Wainwright, the one who uprooted his entire life to follow her to Iowa, doesn't exist in their version. I think about Virginia. About who she was before the move. She used to bring me coffee while I worked. She'd sit on the porch with me on Sunday mornings, reading next to me, not talking, just being there. I remember one spring afternoon, maybe April, she fell asleep on my shoulder on the porch swing. I didn't move for 2 hours. Didn't want to wake her. That woman is gone, and I need to stop looking for her. But here's where it gets complicated. Because 2 days later, Wednesday night, Clarice does something I don't expect. I'm in my office, working late. She knocks on the door. That alone is new. She hasn't knocked on this door in months. She comes in holding 2 cups of tea, sets one on my desk, sits on the edge of the couch across from me. I know I've been off, she says, quietly, not defensive, just tired. This move has been harder than I thought it would be. I miss Virginia. I miss who we were there. I look at her, and for a second, just a second, I see the woman from the porch swing. The one who fell asleep on my shoulder. We can talk about it, I say. I don't want to fight. Neither do I. She stares at her tea. Moselle keeps saying I should be more independent, that I rely on you too much. Sometimes I think she's right, and sometimes I think she's just angry at men. I don't respond to that. I wait. I'm sorry about the couch thing. Don't. That wasn't fair. She meets my eyes, and I'll be honest, something in my chest loosens. Just a fraction. Because she sounds real. She sounds like the woman I married. And part of me, the part that moved 1,400 miles, wants to believe this is the turn. This is where it gets better. Okay, I say. Thank you. She stands up, touches my shoulder as she passes. Light. Quick. Then she's gone. You know that feeling when you want something to be true so badly that you almost let it rewrite what you know? Friday morning. I overhear her on the phone with Moselle. She's in the kitchen. She doesn't know I'm in the hallway. No, I handled it. Made tea. Sat in his office. Said all the right things. She laughs. He completely bought it. Moselle, his face, he looked like a puppy someone threw a treat to. My hand is on the wall. I don't move. I listen to her laugh about the moment I almost believed. Yeah, I'll keep it up for a few weeks. Let him relax. Then we move. I walk back to my office. Close the door. Sit down. Here's what Clarice never understood about me. In the Marines, you learn to take a hit and keep your position. You don't flinch. You don't react. You file it and you wait. The tea, the apology, the shoulder touch, all cataloged now. Not as hope, as evidence. Saturday morning. I ask Clarice one question. Just one. Calm. Direct. Nothing accusatory. Have you talked to Reed lately? He seems distant. Her face changes. Fast. Like a light switch clicking to a different setting. This is exactly what I told people about, she says. The interrogation. The paranoia. You can't just let things be, Monty. I asked one question, Clarice. One question that comes loaded with that look. That tone. I'm not doing this. She packs a bag. Sleeps at Moselle's for 2 nights. Doesn't say she's leaving, just goes. I find out when Moselle posts a photo of wine glasses. Clarice's bracelet is visible on the wrist in the frame. She comes back Monday like nothing happened. Puts her bag in the closet. Starts watching TV. Where were you? I needed space. You wouldn't understand. Try me. See? This is what I mean. Every single thing becomes an investigation. You disappeared for 2 days. Most people would ask. Most people wouldn't need to. She walks to the bedroom. Conversation over. Her terms. Always her terms. But here's the thing Clarice doesn't understand about me. I don't need to win the conversation. I just need the information. What follows is the silent stage. 2 weeks. Same house, different zones. Day 3. She walks into the kitchen while I'm making coffee. Stands there for a moment. Are you going to say good morning? Good morning. That's it. That's all I get. What would you like me to say, Clarice? I'd like you to act like my husband. I'd like you to act like my wife. Looks like we're both disappointed. She stares at me. I pour my coffee. Walk past her to my office. Close the door. Day 8. She tries again. Different tactic. She makes dinner, real dinner, not takeout. Pasta, garlic bread, a bottle of wine I like. Sets 2 places at the table. I thought we could eat together, she says when I come out. She's wearing the blue sweater from Virginia. The one she knows I like. I look at the table. At her. At the wine. That's thoughtful, I say. Thank you. We eat. She talks about work. About a project she's leading. About how Moselle's daughter got into some private school. Normal conversation. Almost warm. And I watch her doing it. The performance, the positioning, and part of me admires the craft. She's good at this. She really is. After dinner, she touches my hand across the table. I miss this, she says. I miss us. Which version of us? She blinks. What does that mean? The one where you bring me tea and tell Moselle I look like a puppy? Her face goes blank. Completely blank. Like a screen going dark. She pulls her hand back. I don't know what you're talking about. That's fine. You don't need to. She stands up. Takes her plate to the sink. Doesn't look at me again that night. The next morning, she blocks me on everything. Phone. Social media. All of it. I try to text, blocked. Try to call, straight to voicemail. We live in the same house. I find out through the phone bill 3 days later when she unblocks me. No discussion. No acknowledgement. Just back to normal. Like a reset button she presses whenever reality gets too close. I set one rule that week. Out loud. Clear. Clarice, if we're going to live in this house together, there's one thing that's not negotiable. You don't get to erase me and pretend it didn't happen. You block me again, I'm treating it as your final answer. You're being dramatic. I'm being clear. There's a difference. She rolls her eyes. But she doesn't block me again. Not because she respects the boundary. Because she's not ready for me to act on it. Not yet. Meanwhile, I'm working. Every night after she falls asleep, screenshots, bank records, timeline documentation. Reed's written statement locked in Nadine's safe. Records of every dollar Clarice has spent from my accounts while telling friends I'm financially controlling. The credit card bills. The spa weekends. The designer bag that cost more than her biweekly paycheck. All my money, while she positions herself as the breadwinner to people who've never seen our bank statements. I don't rush. Rushing is how you lose. I learned that in the service. You move when the position is secure. Not before. I overhear one more call. Sunday afternoon. Clarice is in the bedroom, door cracked. Moselle's voice on speaker. You need to file first, Moselle says. That's the whole game. Whoever files first controls the narrative. I know. Get the house. Get alimony. You gave up your life for him. I didn't exactly give up my. That's not what the judge needs to hear, Clarice. You gave up your life. Your career. Your independence. He dragged you to Iowa. Say it until you believe it. Silence. Then Clarice. What about the lawyer you mentioned? I'll text you her number. She's aggressive. She's perfect. I step back from the door. Quiet. Controlled. Now I know the timeline. One night during the silence. Wednesday, maybe 2 a.m., I'm at my desk. Screen glowing. House dead quiet. And something breaks through the discipline. Not anger. Not strategy. Just this. I moved 1,400 miles for a woman who tells people I'm her jailer. I cook dinner for someone who eats at Moselle's. I sleep next to someone who says, don't, when I reach for her. Garage. 2 a.m. Sat on the concrete step by the workbench. Cold floor through my jeans. Stared at the pegboard. Stayed there until my legs went numb. Then I went back to my desk. Opened the laptop. And I kept building the file. Stay with me here, because what I find next changes everything. Thursday night. Clarice leaves her iPad on the kitchen counter. Face up. She's in the shower. A notification pops, a group chat. 3 names, Clarice, Moselle, and someone called Deirdre Lathrop. I've never heard of her. I pick up the iPad. No passcode. She never bothered. The group chat is right there. I scroll through and photograph every screen with my phone. The latest message from Deirdre reads, "Did he buy it?" But it's the older messages that matter. I sit with the screenshots, Nadine's notes, and my own records, cross-referencing timestamps, messages, patterns. And the picture comes together. They've been strategizing for weeks. The three of them. The plan is clean. Clarice files for emotional abuse. She uses the controlling narrative she's been seeding at work and in her social circle. Moselle coaches the approach. She ran a similar playbook against her own ex-husband, walked away with the house and 5 years of support. Deirdre is the outside witness, ready to testify that Clarice confided in her about my behavior. And then I see the message that freezes me in my chair. Clarice to the group, 11 days earlier. He still thinks I might stay. That's the leverage. I read it 3 times. Not because I don't understand it, because I want to make sure the anger doesn't move my hands faster than my brain. Leverage. That's what 18 months of my life amounts to. That's what moving across the country was. That's what cooking dinner alone every night and sleeping next to someone who flinches at my touch adds up to in her math. Leverage. Nadine reviews the full package over the weekend. She's quiet for a long time after reading the group chat screenshots. Then she looks up. "This is one of the most calculated domestic setups I've reviewed, Monty." She's been constructing a false narrative for months. If she'd filed first, you'd be defending yourself against accusations you couldn't disprove because they'd already been seeded with a dozen witnesses. I know. Your brother's statement. The financial records. The chat. This is strong. But it could be stronger. How? A character witness. Someone who knows her pattern. Not just this marriage, before you. I think about that. Clarice's mother, Nettie Kemp, back in Virginia. We've always been cordial, birthday calls, Christmas cards. But there's something she said to me once, 2 years ago, after Clarice and I had a fight over the phone. Nettie pulled me aside, very quietly, and said, "She does this. Don't take it personally." I didn't understand it then. I do now. But I don't call Nettie. I don't have to. Tuesday morning. Phone rings. Virginia area code. "Monty." Nettie's voice is steady, measured. The voice of a woman who's been watching from a distance and hoping she wouldn't have to make this call. "I saw Clarice's posts. The things she's putting online about you. That you're controlling. That you monitor her. None of it is true, Nettie." "I know it's not true." She pauses. "I know my daughter. She did this to 2 men before you. Tyler, she told everyone he was stalking her. He wasn't. He was trying to co-parent. Marcus, she said he was emotionally abusive. That man bought her a house, and she repaid him by destroying his reputation. Same playbook. Every single time. I don't say anything. I let her talk. I should have warned you before the wedding. I thought she'd changed. I wanted to believe she'd grown past it." Her voice cracks. Just for a second. "Don't forgive her, Monty." I know how that sounds coming from her own mother. But I've watched this pattern destroy 3 good men now. I won't watch it take a 4th. "What exactly are you saying, Nettie?" "I'm saying I'll help you. With the court. I'll provide a deposition. A character statement. Whatever your lawyer needs." "You'd testify against your own daughter?" "I'd testify for the truth. There's a difference." I hang up. Sit in my office for a while. There's a photo on the wall, Clarice and me at a cookout in Virginia, the summer before we moved. She's laughing. I'm flipping burgers. We look like people who have a future. I take the photo off the wall. Set it face down in the desk drawer. Nadine files Thursday morning. Divorce petition. Reed's written statement attached. Nettie's character deposition attached. Financial records. Group chat screenshots. Everything clean. Everything documented. Everything by the book. I set the printed folder on the kitchen table. And I wait. Clarice comes home around 8. She's been at drinks with Moselle. I can tell from the energy. She's rehearsed. Calm. The way someone is calm when they've been practicing their lines in the car. She sets her bag down, sees me sitting at the table, and takes a breath. "Monty, I think we need to talk." "Sit down. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I really feel like we need some time apart." "It's not about, sit down, Clarice." Something in my voice. She sits. I push the folder across the table. "What is this?" "Open it." She opens it. First page, the divorce petition. Her face doesn't change, not yet. She turns the page. Reads statement. Now she goes white. "He wouldn't, he did." She flips faster now. Bank records. Her spending from my accounts. The ones she told people I was withholding. Screenshots of the group chat with Moselle and Deirdre. Her own words about leverage, printed in black and white. Where did you? Keep going. Last document. Nettie's deposition. Clarice reads the first paragraph and her hands start shaking. My mother did not write this. Call her. Right now? Ask her yourself. This is, you turned my own mother against me? I didn't turn anyone, Clarice. She called me. She stands up, sits back down, stands again. I watch the phases cycle. Anger first. You went through my things. You violated my privacy. This is exactly what everything in that folder was obtained legally. Every document. Every screenshot. Nadine made certain of it. Anger stalls. Switch to tears. Monty, please. This isn't, I was scared. Moselle was in my ear constantly. She kept saying I needed to protect myself, that you'd take everything. I didn't mean, you wrote he still thinks I might stay. That's the leverage. Which part of that sentence was Moselle's idea? Silence. I moved across the country for you, Clarice. Left everything I'd built. And you spent those 18 months constructing a lie about who I am. Not because I hurt you. Not because I was cruel. Because it was useful. She's crying now. Real tears. Maybe. Or maybe performance. That's the thing. I can't tell anymore. And when you can't tell if someone's pain is real, that's how you know it's over. I made a mistake. People make mistakes. People make mistakes. What you built was a campaign. What about what we had? What about Virginia? The porch, the Sunday mornings. You called me your warden, Clarice. You told Moselle I controlled you. You told Deirdre to testify against me in court. You used my own brother, and then you blocked me every time I tried to talk about it. I closed the folder. You built an escape route out of lies, and you filled it with people I trusted. The only thing you didn't plan for was the truth. She looks at the folder. At me. At the door. Her eyes are moving fast, calculating exits, angles, options. And then I see it. Not anger. Not tears. Not performance. Fear. Real fear. Raw and unguarded and small. Because every ally she counted on reads silence. Nettie's loyalty. Her head start with the lawyer is gone. Every single one. Before she even sat down at this table. You can't do this, she whispers. It's already done. Nadine filed this morning. She picks up her phone, hands shaking so badly she almost drops it. She dials. Mom. What did you? How could you? I can hear Nettie's voice through the phone. She listens for 5 seconds. You had the one good man I ever met. And you did to him what you do to everyone. Click. Clarice stares at the dark screen. The kitchen is very quiet. The kind of quiet you feel in your ribs. I stand up. Push my chair in. I'll be at the extended stay on First Avenue. Nadine handles everything from here. I pick up the bag I packed that morning. It's been in the hall closet since noon. 2 suitcases. The essentials. Everything else is furniture. At the door I stop. Not because I have something left to say. I just want to remember this kitchen. The counter where I cooked 300 dinners alone. The couch where she said don't. The hallway where I stood listening to her invent a version of me for people who'd never know the real one. I closed the door behind me. Quietly. No slam. That's not how I operate. Extended stay. First Avenue. Coffee by the window. Cedar Rapids stretching out flat and gray below. Not peaceful quiet. Not restful. Just quiet. The kind that lets you hear your own breathing and realize you've been holding it for a year and a half. I'm back in Virginia now. Reopened the firm. Called my old clients. Most picked up on the first ring. One, a retired colonel named Harris, laughed and said, "Took you long enough. Where on earth have you been?" Following orders, I told him. Won't make that mistake twice. Last week I'm sitting on my porch. Spring again. April. The swing's still there. I sit in it alone. Coffee getting cold. And I think about that Tuesday night on the couch. Her pulling away. That one word. Don't. Turns out that was the best advice she ever gave me. Dear listeners, that's our ending. If it resonated, subscribe to support the channel. See you next time.